This is the part of the show where I bring in a good friend, a market pro, to really share their insights, to educate me. Last week, we had Anthony Pompliano to educate me on crypto and try and change my mind. This week, I have a dear friend, a closer friend. He's not the mouth of the South. He's got the smoothest voice around. Frank Curzio, a fellow paisano. Again, thanks for joining the show, Frank.
Thanks for having me on, man. It's great to see you.
And you've seen it all. You've done it all. You used to work with Jim Cramer. You've built your own research company. We've worked together at research initiatives. I mean, let me just start with it, right? Like, you've seen every market condition. What do you do in this time? What are you telling your subscribers? What do you tell your grandmother when she calls and says, Frankie, what am I buying today?
I think what was, and thanks so much again for having me on the show, but I think right now it's more about buying individual stocks, individual ideas, where everyone's looking at where the market's going to go. And it's
Yeah.
so represented by the Mag 7, which is, largest 7 technology stocks that, whatever direction they move is which direction the S&P is going to move. The NASDAQ, of course, is filled with technology stocks. So there's just a lot of individual ideas that make a lot of sense here. But I've always said uncertainty is the death of stocks and the markets. And
Yep.
I can't remember a time in my 30-year history doing this where it's more uncertain, even during COVID, even during the credit crisis. And the reason why is when you look at the Fed odds of what's going to happen in terms of rate cuts, right now, if you look at a percentage of what they're pricing in for no rate cuts, 2 rate cuts, and 5 rate cuts, they're all the same right now, which
It's
is telling
crazy,
you
isn't it? I
that,
mean, look, go back 2 weeks ago and it was trending towards 1 to 2. Now we're seeing, like you said, 4 to 5.
yeah.
How do you make heads or tails of that? Like, what do you see? I mean, when you see that, what does that trigger in you? Like, okay, what am I have to adjust? How am I looking at the world tactically now for investing?
It means that stocks have a lot more risk since there's much more uncertainty. Because if you look at those scenarios, Lou, it's pricing at anything from a deep recession
Yeah.
to we're going to see growth 6 months from now. Like, we're still going to see strong growth. And investing under those conditions, if you see a recession, fine. You could buy the staples. Staples doing good today. Less of the cyclicals, right? So when you have this confusion of what's going on, it's difficult to say, okay, here's the bottom. I mean, I thought Dell might have been a good buy yesterday. It's down 20% today. Best Buy might have been a good buy. It's gotten annihilated. It's down 15%. So you have to be
Yeah.
very careful here. But what I will say about the tariffs, if I think they're short term in nature,
Yes.
take the
Agreed.
take the politics aside. And a lot of countries are hating us right now, and I don't blame them. But with the U.S. being the most powerful nation in the world, and you're looking at other economies where I was, 27, 28 trillion GDP, and we're looking at Mexico at 1.5. We're looking at Canada 2.2
Yeah.
trillion. They could play a tough, they could say whatever they want. They could be tough in the media. But the bottom line is they're looking at depressions where we're looking at a pullback and a mild recession.
Well, you're right. We live in a relative world, and currencies, interest rates. I think you're
Mhm.
absolutely right. I mean, it's painful now. I guess my question is, and I kind of brought this up on Fox Business last week, is like, show me one MIT wonk or nerd that can build a model that calculates whether these tariffs are in place and at what levels, 25%, 35% for 16 days and 2 hours, or three
Yes,
days, or like you're seeing
exactly.
already in the run up to yesterday's announcement, some of these nations saying like, "Hey, we're ready to compromise now because we found out you're not serious,
Mhm.
you're not messing around, that you are serious, and so now we got to compromise." So, like,
Yeah.
I guess it's that question of how do you? Let's assume worst case scenario. These
Okay.
tariffs stay in place for long enough to really impact the market, the economy. Where do you go to buy then, right? What's an attractive individual name? Again, talk your book freely. Sharing good ideas here. Like, you mentioned consumer staples. Is there a consumer staple stock that you love that is recession resistant? Is it a healthcare name? I mean, or do you get opportunistic and try and buy in increments in discretionary names because they're going to rebound eventually?
I think the names to avoid right now are the names that are closer in ties to China, because I think that tariff situation is a lot different than we're looking at
Yeah.
Canada and Mexico, right? So I would stay away from the Nikes. I'd stay away from the Apples. I'd stay away from the Starbucks. I think they're going to get nailed even further. One name I really like right now is Tesla. I've never really said it.
Oh,
I've
right.
traded back
Here
and
we go.
forth. I could tell you one thing that's not being factored into Tesla, right? Because everyone
Yeah.
knows if you tell me everything that's wrong with Tesla, what's factored in, I don't know if you could tell me a risk that nobody knows right now. But I can tell
Fair.
you that's not being mentioned in the media and every day. I could tell you with these tariffs and what they're doing that last time 2018 tariffs with the auto companies, Mexico folded, Canada folded, and China folded. And they were like, okay, we'll invest more into your industry, into the economy. And that's fine. And it went away and everything worked out. No inflation. Stock market went up 2 years full of 40%. GDP went higher. This time around that he actually did it.
Yeah.
What it does to legacy carriers is they cannot produce an EV that's profitable. That's barely profitable in the US, but they pushed all of that production along with their truck production in Canada and Mexico.
Yep.
The fact that they're going to get hit the hardest, they cannot bring that. They have capacity right now in the U.S. where they can bring some of that production back to the U.S. The Fords and even Stellantis, and you're looking at GM. But what I'm looking further down the line of how these companies, you basically shut off your competition. And it's going to be great, not just for Tesla, but for Rivian, because Rivian's the only other name in the industry that can actually scale EVs. The legacy carriers
So
can never scale
you see
EVs.
this as they just got a big moat put around their EV business because
Yes.
everyone else got boxed out because of the tariffs.
Yes. And I know the
So
risks. I know what's going on, and people are keying Teslas. I know that, people are
yeah,
worried
it's
about.
totally wrong and inappropriate. Like lock
Yes,
them up and throw away the key. Like that's
exactly.
un-American.
Mhm.
So I guess my question is because I'm more on the other side. Like Tesla's richly valued, no matter how big the EV demand is, and I worry about EV demand destruction. Just like we've just gotten to a point in the market where you pulled forward all the early adopters, and now you're trying to
Mhm.
mass market it. How do they get mass market adoption?
This is gonna be hard. This is gonna be hard for some people. I'm a fundamental analyst, as you know, by
Yeah,
trade, so telling you that the numbers don't matter, but if you look at Tesla's throughout its history, it hasn't traded on valuation, and I've made that
agreed.
mistake in the past, and you've probably seen it most because you cover technology, the best guy I know covers technology. What did I make wrong? What did I get wrong in Netflix? When Netflix was just this booming company, I said the same thing. Wow, this company just has a crazy valuation. Going to stay away from it. Went up 10,000%.
Yeah,
What I got wrong is I was comparing that company against competitors in the industry like cable companies. And what I got wrong is I shouldn't have been comparing it that way as a fundamental analyst because their total addressable market wasn't against a cable company. It was every single cable company trying to compete against Netflix because they
yeah,
want another level.
it's a
So when I
good
look at
point.
Tesla and justifying that valuation, it's yes on a PE ratio, you say you're crazy. Yes on a price to sales ratio, you're like you're insane. It's never traded on that because it's much more than that. Where legacy carriers are talking about how do we get production in, you have Tesla talking about robotics and robotaxis,
Yeah,
right? It's a different level where the EV production and how they're able to produce EVs and scale them, still legacy carriers can't do it.
yeah,
As we push more into EVs, I'm not the biggest fan of EVs, but I'm just saying you're eliminating a big competitive hurdle through these tariffs where they can't compete. And you're going to take a lot of these cars, EVs, off the market. That could be good for Tesla, and I haven't seen anyone really talking about it. So I think that could factor into
yeah. No,
how it's
look,
going to trade
I'll
on.
give you credit. At the top of the show, I was kind of banging on our friend Kenny Polcari for saying, well, about the robots and energy storage. You're sticking with the auto play, which Tesla is. So I
Mhm.
respect that. I've learned never to short Tesla. I did it one time successfully. I don't do try and tempt fate twice.
Mhm.
But this is the thing I love about you. You said, "Hey, this is what I got wrong before on Netflix." You're an
Yeah.
honest, straightforward
Yeah.
guy. I sit on the other side of Tesla, but I'm not going to dare short it. So maybe we make a better wager. Let's just keep track of price of Tesla today, price of Apple. I'm going to say that I bought a share and you bought a share. Let's see who does better in about 6 months.
That's
We'll
great.
come back on and we'll say, and I'll say, why I was wrong. I know I'm not
Mhm.
afraid to say it, but hey, I want to thank any other thing that you think is top of mind, and then that investors really need to know in a market like this, and then how do they get your insights regularly, just as opposed to just coming on here for 10 minutes. I want them to know how to
Yeah.
find you.
I really appreciate that. I mean, look, I think small caps have been decimated. I've never seen a market that has gone up. If you look historically, and you cover small caps as well,
Yeah,
where large caps have this much of a gap when it comes to the outperformance of small caps, and now they're down tremendously today in this market. You're seeing companies. Listen, not every small caps. The Russell 2000 may be a buy, whatever, but when you look at an individual level of some of these companies, where a company like that I hated, Dave and Buster's, of where it's trading right now. I mean, they just
right.
showed that they could sell their real estate, and their real estate's probably worth about 6 times its market cap, and they actually own the real estate, right? That makes
Yeah,
it good for a private equity investment company to come in. So I see limited downside, new management team. You have insider buying. Like, I'm looking for insider buying because sometimes you don't have to wait for the technicals to go up. And
yep,
I know sometimes you'll want to see, okay, it moved off its 200-day moving average. It's up 15%. I'm going to get in. When you see insiders buying, they only buy for one reason. They sell for so many numerous reasons, which we all,
amen.
read in 20 million textbooks. But that's what I'm looking right now, where not only are these things down tremendously, they have US exposure, tariffs, they shouldn't be hurt as much. A lot of these guys were reshaping their businesses over the past 2 years because they underperformed. So they shed a lot, they cut costs dramatically, focus on the core businesses. A company like Play looks really good to me. A company like Roblox, they just signed a great deal with Google. Everyone who signed this deal with Google, even Reddit, this stock is absolutely taken off. You basically get unlimited to their cloud and everything, and they're going to steal all that information. They give the API and the keys away, which is what these companies do, and Google's great at that, whether you like them or not, politically.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
And
like the stock as a Mag 7 is probably one of the most undervalued, underloved ones. But so
yeah.
you love small caps. I'm with you there 100%. I
Mhm.
think individual stock selection is key, as you noted, right? S&P 500, you back
Yeah.
out those 7 names. The other 493 are actually pretty flat for the year. They were doing much
It's
better.
amazing, right? It's a
Yeah,
great
it's
stat.
crazy that how
Yeah.
7 influences the index so
Yeah.
much. So I'm behind you on that.
Mhm.
How do people find you, right? I mean,
You could
aside from
go
X, what's the best way to get your research on a regular basis?
You can just go to curzioresearch.com, and we have a podcast I've been doing for 15 years called Wall Street Unplugged that you've been on, and hopefully you come on a lot more that I've been doing for 15 years. Actually, I took it over for Kramer, and it's been downloaded, I think 16, 17 million times, and over 120 countries,
15 years
which
faithfully every
humbles.
week.
It's crazy. Like, I'm like, how can so many people, you gotta be crazy listening, but it's really cool. It's humble, and it gives me a great benefit to hear perspectives from you, like Tesla. Like, I want to come back in Tesla and see what I got wrong, what I got right. That's what we want to do in investing.
Agreed.
Limit our risks, challenge ourselves and get better. And, we'll definitely revisit Tesla and see who's right on it. And regardless, it's not going to be, I told you so. It's going to be like, how do we learn from it? And that's how
I
we learn
agree,
how to
man.
invest.
That is well said. And listen, man, I hope the big skinny can reach 15 years. Dude, we're on episode 5.
I'm
I
sure
can't,
you will.
dude,
I'm
I
sure
don't even
you
know how
will.
you keep it straight. I think I was on maybe 9 years ago the first time. So
Yeah.
listen, man, always a pleasure. Look forward to chatting with you again soon, Frank, and good luck on every name, including
Thanks, man.
Tesla. I hope I'm wrong because I'm not getting shorted. So you can win and I won't lose, and I'll be happy.
Well, listen, thanks so much for inviting me, and good luck with everything. I know the podcast will be a success. So you're great, man. I know you for a long time. You're awesome. So
All right, man. Thanks, Frank.